Good morning and happy Friday to you, Vikings fans. This is your boy Justin in Rochester with Purple and Gold for days. Patrick Peterson's got into it again on his podcast. Vikings get some key players back defensively, and somehow we're supposed to be concerned or nervous to play a quarterback by the name of Mike White. Seriously? Now, listen, we all understand where Patrick Peterson is coming from. Being told your services are no longer required is never an easy thing, particularly as an athlete when you still feel you have something left to contribute on the football field. But having said that, it was one thing when we played the Cardinals for him to express his feelings. It's another thing when Harrison Smith intercepts the ball to immediately start doing a dance while the play's still going on. Didn't entirely like that one, but hey, we won the game, so it doesn't really matter all that much. But now Patrick Peterson's gone on a podcast and called out Arizona Cardinals quarterback Kyler Murray. Now listen, everything he said about Kyler Murray is perceived to have been true with everything that's been reported. But just be careful, Patrick. Listen, I get it. Trying to have an audience, trying to grow your podcast, all that good stuff. I can certainly appreciate that. Just remember, stuff comes back around. I can understand the week we played them wanting to get those pent up emotions out, but it's time to move on and talk about something else, like how far this team can go and all that good stuff. Vikings injury report. Let's be clear. Christian Darrisaw is not going to play this week. I don't know why he hasn't already been listed as out, and he shouldn't be playing this week. He had 2 concussions in back-to-back games. He needs to take as much rest as he can before the playoffs start because we need this guy moving forward. Harrison Smith, I don't see any issues there. He was a full participant yesterday, so nothing to worry about there. The key to this injury report is that Caleb Evans and Dalvin Tomlinson, we haven't had for a couple weeks each. Listen, this defense has been bleeding yards and at times in the first 2.5 quarters of games been bleeding points. But as I said in my previous video about is this defense really bad, which will be linked at the end here, this defense is doing the best it can with what it's got. We all want to talk about Ed Donashell and why don't we bring more blitzes or pressure to quarterback. And as I said before, maybe he figures he's only got 3 or 4 shots a game. Now, as I have also said, there is a balance between saving all of your good material until midway through the 3rd quarter and for the 4th quarter, maybe finding somewhere in the middle to actually bring some pressure once in a while so that maybe you can actually build a lead as opposed to needing stops to get back into the game or to win the game. I think Dalvin Tomlinson anchoring the middle of this defensive line is going to pay huge dividends. He is the best nose guard for the 3-4 system that the Vikings have on roster. Yes, the players that we've had, Harrison Phillips, a little bit of Lynch, they've done solid jobs, but having them be the 2nd and 3rd guy versus the 1st and 2nd guy with Dalvin Tomlinson anchoring the middle of the defensive line should allow the Vikings the opportunity to possibly bring some of those extra linebackers and an occasional safety blitz because they've got a guy that'll be able to stuff the run. Speaking of bringing guys on a safety blitz, Harrison Smith last game actually did that once. But when you did that with as many injuries as we've had to the secondary, you're taking a good secondary piece out from the back end. Well, now you got hopefully getting the Caleb Evans back. Instead of playing your 1st, 4th, and 5th string cornerbacks, you've got your 3rd back in there. Hopefully Cam Dantzler ends up coming back next week against Detroit, so we'll be at full strength. And for the next 2 weeks, I want to see this defense start to bring a little bit more pressure a little bit earlier on. I'm not saying blitz every play. I'm not saying try to emulate the Mike Zimmer double-A gap blitz look every single play. But at some point, it's not going to be sustainable with the way they play. Yes, they can get away with that against mediocre to bad teams. And in a couple of good games this year against the Buffalo Bills, they got away with it. And they did last week against the New England Patriots. But when it comes down to playoff time, you can't just be sitting back there for the entire game up until the 4th quarter because you might be down 21 points. See the Dallas Cowboys game. Apparently, the Vikings are unlucky to have to play Mike White this week. Yes, I will grant you that the Vikings have had a lot of luck playing backup quarterbacks or having injuries on other teams, getting a few breaks here and there. But to suggest that the Vikings are unlucky to play Mike White is a loser's lament. Listen, would it have been easier if Zach Wilson was still playing? Probably. Would have been nice if the schism that he created had come a couple weeks later? Maybe. But we are talking about Mike White here. The guy's a journeyman backup quarterback. He's had a few flash-in-the-pan games, and that's all well and good. But just like when a team fires their head coach midseason and comes out and looks great the next week, oh, okay, they were inspired and invigorated because ding dong, the witch is dead. And what happens a week or two after that? Oh, yeah, they fall back into being the mediocre to bad team that they are, which is why they fired their coach in the first place. Benching Zach Wilson and is in effect the player's version of firing a head coach. Okay, so he was terrible for the locker room. He was a terrible leader, more concerned about being the MILF crusher. And that's all well and good. Congratulations, young man. We're happy for you. But for us to say that we should be concerned or scared or be filled unlucky because we have to play this guy? Yes. Last week, 22 for 28, 315 yards, 3 touchdowns. Nice quarterback rating, 194.3. That's all well and good. It was against the crappy Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears are packing it in, and the only thing that the Bears have to play for is to not be last place in this division. We'll give my official score predictions later, but at the end of it, why in the world are we having this much concern about this quarterback? He's okay. He invigorated his team because his team needed a shot in the arm. And at the end of it, for me, I'm just saying, why are we even talking about this guy? He's coming into our house. He's not playing the Chicago Bears, who are playing a backup quarterback. He's playing the 9-2 Minnesota Vikings. Good luck, kid. I ain't worried about you. Thank you kindly for joining me this morning. Please like, comment, and share this for me. Purple Friday. Everybody stay warm. If you're in the state of Minnesota, drive safe. And we will catch you on the flip side.